Hello, and welcome back to their Dokkan battle video. So, Tech LR Jiren's EZA is officially live in the game. He is weak to Miraculous Awakening, so either Beasted Gohan or basically AGL UI, right? There's a bunch of LRs on this team, again, the majority of them being like Dokkan Fest EZAs, so this really shouldn't be like too difficult for anybody. Like, I don't really anticipate any issues, right? Especially just because of how many buffs this team has been getting recently. Now, I didn't make a video about Tech Jiren's details, so I guess I can kind of go. I did tweet about him, right? Because I did basically a rough translation for him. Now, the only thing that I got wrong when I did my translation for him is that his guard is when he's above 50% HP. Just because I thought it would be really weird to have so many conditions tied to basically 200% attack and defense. And essentially what happened is, right, Jiren gets a bunch of stats. He's just a big stat stick, right? That's all he is. He's just a massive stat stick character, right? And essentially, if at the start of a turn, your HP is 40% or below, or after his 5th turn, if you are below 80% HP, from that turn onward, you will get 200% attack and defense. That is basically how he works, right? So he either wants to stall the fight out until he gets to his 5th turn, or you want to fall really, really, really low on HP, but at the same time, if you do fall below 40% HP, right, then you lose out on 100% attack and defense and guard. So he's very weird, right? He's a very odd unit. I'm not sure if I really like that too much. The thing is, though, right, this Jiren, what we really needed from him is to be good enough to be ran for the Universe 11 mission, and I don't think that he's quite good enough for people who do not have the AGL Jiren, or, what's his name? Or Topo, right? If you don't have either of them, I think this Jiren is not going to be good enough to help you get through that mission without having, like, extensive uses of items. Because, right, who else do you have for Universe 11, right? You have the Topa Pride Troopers, which are a very good character, right? You can definitely make use of them in there, especially if they're rainbowed and like level 10. You have Dispo, who cannot dodge in the dodge canceling phase, so you're going to need Tech UI if you want to run Dispo. You have Margarita, who is another dodge character who's going to EZA in about a month, right? But again, dodge character, so you're going to need Tech UI if you want her to dodge in the physical phase, which is the hardest phase in the fight. You have Casserole, who sucks, right? I used Casserole when I did it on stream, and I needed not only the support memory for Universe Survival Saga, but also items to make sure that he didn't instantly explode. And even with items, he took damage, right? So Casserole is just not that good, in general. You have STR Jiren, who is the worst unit, probably, of last year. Incredibly terrible. Alright, I think him and, like, well, because in Goku Black, at the very bare minimum, you can get use out of him. STR Jiren just flat out sucks. So, like, you can't even do anything with him. And that's pretty much, like, it, right? Because nobody else on the Universe 11 team is even remotely usable. So, you run into this issue where, like, if you didn't summon for Topo, and you didn't summon for Jiren, like what are you supposed to do, right? Because you're just missing out on, like, these key units that would be really, really helpful. So I don't really like that too much. Though, granted, if you did summon for Tech UI, the chances that you have Tech UI and Dispo are non-zero, right? Like, you're more than likely going to have one of them, or both of them, right? So I think potentially there's that going for you, right? Where you can have Tech UI Dispo, and then you run the Tech UI team, right? With Topo Pride Troopers, which is going to be really hard to run without multiple Universe 11 characters, and then you have Jiren. You're going to have to run, like, STR Jiren and Casserole, or Tech Jiren, right? And then bringing, like, a friend AGL Jiren would probably work, because, like, essentially how you want to go about it is your struggle is going to be getting to the STR phase, and then if you can get to the STR phase, AGL Jiren should be able to pretty much one-shot Goku and Frieza. It's not going to be, like, a perfect one-shot, but it's going to be the closest that you're probably going to be able to get. Like, if your team is Tech UI, AGL UI, Tech Jiren, STR Dispo, STR Jiren, Topo Pride Troopers, and then a friend AGL Jiren, if your rotation, like your first turn of Goku and Frieza is both UI and AGL Jiren, you should be able to one-shot that. Again, the issue is just going to be getting there safely. But if you are able to do that, that should win. So I would say, if you do not have like a lot of these brand new characters, just pop the support memory, pop the items, get things done. Probably go after those new God event stages first. Grab the upgraded Universe Survival Saga support memory. That way, every single one of your, you know, mediocre Universe 11 characters is a lot better, and then go from there. But it's gonna be hard if you are, if you don't have some of these brand new summonable characters. It really is, and I'm personally not a fan of the fact that they added that mission in there. I get why they did it. It's thematic. It makes sense for there to be a Universe 11 mission. You know, Jiren versus Goku and Frieza, right? But I just personally think that it was a wrong move, especially when they made Tech Jiren not nearly good enough to be able to be like a dominant force. Like, rainbowed Tech Jirens are gonna like barely be able to even damage Goku and Frieza. So it's just one of those unfortunate things, right? Where I don't think they were really thinking too much about like the free-to-play audience with this one. Just because, like, because Casserole, as a free-to-play card that came out, what, last year? He came out during the Super 17 celebration? Yeah, 2023. It's like, he's just not good enough, like, like, at all. So it's a struggle, to say the least. It's a struggle. And Jiren, while being good, Tech Jiren, it's just, he's not enough. He's not enough. I think, like, you were gonna need one of the two, Topo or AGL Jiren, because not only was Casserole bad last year, same thing with STR Jiren, and then Tech Jiren isn't good enough either. So it's just like, well, sucks to suck, right? Good luck out there, bozos. Right? So I don't know. Omatsu was he was on something when he made that. But what are you gonna do, right? What are you gonna do? Not a whole lot. You just kind of have to deal with the fact that some of these missions are really hard, right? You probably are gonna be able to carry, but it's gonna be rough. I mean, I have already done it before Tag Jiren came out, but again, I have AGL Jiren, right? So it was a lot easier for me to do it than it was for potentially other people who have not been able to. Because I think I did use... It was AGL... I think I did use STR Jiren in mine. Oh, no, I didn't. Yeah, I had my AGL Jiren, and then Topo Pride Trooper, Dispo, and then Casserole. And I, like, barely won. It was... Funny enough, though, that Universe 11 mission with items was easier than when I beat Goku and Frieza with no items with Vegito Blue. That took less tries. I mean, obviously items, right, make it easier, but point being, Casserole is easier to carry through this fight than HL Vegito Blue. And I'm sorry, HL Vegito Blue fans. Phone, I'm looking at you, you motherfucker. It's just that HL Vegito Blue is, like, not great. He's not goated with the shot. Like, he's just not. He pains me physically to run him, because you have to basically cater the entire way you're playing the fight specifically for him. Like, you have to protect him in every single goddamn turn. You gotta make sure he's getting enough stacks so he actually does damage, blah, 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 blah. Right? I find it so much easier to carry a unit that is doing literally nothing than to cater to a unit so that they can do literally nothing. It's just not fun. And, like, a unit like Casserole, like, yeah, Casserole did literally jack. Like, he didn't do anything. He took damage against normals even in the first phase, right? But at the bare minimum, I could float him off rotation, and I don't have to worry about him for a very long amount of time and stuff like that. So it's just one of those things where these new fights are really going to punish bad characters, and unfortunately for Universe 11, that is what they keep making. The brand new summonable characters are not bad. It's just they're brand new summonable characters, right? So you get the issue. What are you gonna do? What are you gonna do? Also, I think this is the first celebration since the existence of Super EZAs to not have one. Which is kind of funny, right? Because I would have assumed that we would have had one by now, right? Like, if they were gonna drop a Super EZA, we probably would have seen it in the data, like early data, and there isn't anything in there about like a Super EZA at all. So I'm starting to think that this is gonna be the first celebration without a Super EZA, which I think is really awkward because AGL Blue Kaioken would have been really, really helpful for a lot of people in the Goku and Frieza fight. Obviously, one, he's AGL, and two, he's meant to be one of those, like, Giga damage characters. So I think he would have been really, really helpful and a really nice addition for a lot of, like, free-to-play teams. Right? That might not have some of these, like, amazing top-tier options. Granted, a lot of them aren't EZA characters from, like 3 years ago, but he would have helped. I'm just saying, it would have been nice to have another choice, especially when it's an AGL character. But unless they like surprise drop a Super EZA in like a day or so, I don't see us getting one this celebration, because next week should be a new Dokkan Fest, right? Because who was it last year? I don't really remember. Well, let me check this. Last year, right before World... Oh, it was Super Trunks, right? Yeah, it was. It was Super Trunks. And Super Trunks dropped on the 31st, yeah. So next week we should be getting a new Dokkan Fest. Alright, let's go ahead and EZA Jiren real quick, and then that'll be the end of this video. But yeah, so next week is going to be a new Dokkan Fest. I don't expect us to get a Super EZA for this celebration, unfortunately. But it is what it is. Anyway, let me know how you guys feel about TEQ LR Jiren in the comments down below. I think he's fine. I think he's good, but not good enough, basically, is my thoughts, right? Anyway, let me know how you guys feel about him in the comments down below. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I will see you guys all in the next one.